I have this like deep, deep calling to go places and be of service. And I knew that I was supposed to be doing more.
I can find a way to make being a truly kind and attentive person a reliable part of who I will be as an adult. Like, I want to build that muscle.
I've developed a much stronger sense of Sangha here and knowing to take refuge in the Sangha. That's really what I was missing.
In what I've learned in the past 3 months, I feel just so much more open about the way that I think about practice. What is mindfulness? And what is meditation? So I had a very rough idea. And now that I think about it, whoa, it was so much more. And I mean, of course I'm gonna learn for the rest of my life, but I have so many tools. And I think that's really what the practice is just acquiring more and more tools so that you can approach any situation. That no matter what happens, awareness can hold it.
You can just accept whatever it is that comes up and just take it for what it is.
I've definitely extended the periods of mindfulness. They've grown. I have been mindful for longer. It's much easier to communicate with kindness and care and stability. I'm not as inclined to lose myself.
I have never seen so many people change so drastically in such a short amount of time. In the 3 months being here, the shift to confident and happy and outgoing was insane to watch happen, and I've watched it happen in myself too. When I saw my parents over break, they were like, "You've changed."
Those seeds that I'm planting, I trust those to grow. I trust that it's not gonna happen right now, that it might take years to fully rest in my system, but I trust it, that this practice is gonna hold me and I've just gotta show up. And that's such a change from the full frontal, it's all on me, to get everything and my growth done, to oh, I trust this practice with my life.
Kind of the reason why I came to this program was I saw deep exploration into meditation being a way for me to tune into my mind and the dark place that it can be. My sensitive disposition that allows me to relate to the world in a particular way, and that allows me to take that relation into my art and my music, also makes it really fucking hard to be alive sometimes. And I want to feel like I can be here for all of it. And that's really what meditation feels like it's an invitation for, is to be how can you be with your life through all of it.
There's this thing I've heard in the meditation world, which is that somewhere in the journey of growing up or approaching enlightenment, there is a dissolving of a sense of self. And before that, a prerequisite is to have a positive, loving view of the self. For me, being here has cultivated a much friendlier perception of myself. It's just a weird thing, I kind of knew that eventually I would want to take steps away from feeling separate from other people, and I didn't really know how to like myself. And now I feel like I like myself. I know how to like myself a lot more skillfully. There are specific strengths of mine that can be gifted to other people.
But I came here at the end of that year thinking I'm just really incapable in a lot of ways. And I've had a couple moments that have allowed me to see a different possibility, a renewed sense of capability.
There's a lot of space for someone else as like a young person to experiment with, like, hey, I have a way of doing something, or I want to try something out. They can be leaderful too. Just because there's a team of people that are considered teachers or staff or adults, you actually have your own leadership and you're actually welcomed. We can all actually take turns in leading something, and I can go as a student to your workshop and learn from you. How empowering is that? You know, just to be trusted, like, wow, you have something to offer, and that doing you is actually perfectly a part of the path and practice.
The first time I taught a dance class, it just was like pure inspiration, creative flow that just took over me, and it was just like seamless. And it felt so good. It made me feel so alive. Just like in my own subjective experience, it felt like, oh, this is something that I was supposed to do and that I'm supposed to be doing. It was so meaningful to be in community and to be able to move freely.
I remember being on a teen retreat at IMS, and a teen in my small group was saying how he felt like it was both a beautiful thing that everyone's so kind here at the retreat, but also kind of fake. Because what do we do when they're actually someone we don't like very much? It was true. We didn't have time to teach them what to do with being real with each other and how to do that skillfully, but I feel like we got to do that in this because it was so much longer, and just a lot of real stuff came up. So there was something really satisfying about just being real together.
But I also remember like the struggles that I've had, the interpersonal dynamics that I've had to really use those tools in order to work through. And so like nonviolent communication and like communication practices that we've learned about in general have been vital. And I don't think that I would have the same outlook on struggles between friends if I hadn't had all that instruction on like actually how to live in community.
Uncomfortable emotions come up, uncomfortable conversations, like having to just like work through conflicts with people in like I'm working through this conflict so it gets better. It was like this total shift of like, actually I really want this to get better. Like I really want to be heard, I want to hear you. And we're just gonna sit here and we're gonna really work it out. And it was hard, it was uncomfortable, but it was like so radically different than what I was doing outside of this. And yeah, that experience really shifted the way I like looked at how we can go about the conflicts in our lives in a way that's not trying to win an argument or win a situation. It's we're both losing because we're both in conflict right now. And let's try and help each other out of that and like be mirrors for each other so we both get to like get a little further on the path together. Great, we're also like better in community.
That all like actions are based on underlying needs, like as basic as that is, it never occurred to me. And just even putting that into practice with like talking my friends through difficult situations or connecting on a less performative level has been fantastic. And they've like noticed and have brought it up and been like, yeah, it feels like we're more connected now.
On silent retreat, like being like having like really insightful sort of moments with nature, and more so with the self, like I think like feeling like the oneness and the interconnectedness of all things. And I've been raised in the society to think that I'm like better than life that seems inanimate and seems like this is just lichen growing on bark. You know, like it seems less important than a living, breathing human, and yet it is so, like, just as much living and breathing to me.
I remember definitely taking one walk through the woods and feeling so much, just like filled with delight and love and being really happy for a moment, which, really, like, kind of surprised me. It was like, this is possible? Just really, feel like I'm okay where I am. And yeah, I hadn't felt that way in a while, so it was really beautiful to just walk through the woods.
That's part of the beauty of this place, is that it's like for freedom by freedom. That truly has been such a gift to me, to be able to really tap into my natural flow regardless of, oh, this is the sitting directions, like this is how you practice. No, to be able to like parse out what my practice is and to like welcome dance as a part of that, to welcome like walks in the forest as a part of that, is part of the power of what this program was like just be you and like love on you and really like do that self-inquiry and know that like you can always come back to the container. And like part of the container expanding and flowing and getting free is you being free. And like seeing that time and time again play out in my own experience and in the experiences of everyone else.